This is my mini course on MBA planning, in which we are going to discuss whether you should do an MBA or not, and if you should, where to do it from, and how to build a strong profile for it. So keep watching. Hi, this is Nistha from Scholar Strategy, and this is our mini course on MBA planning. First of all, why am I giving this gyan? Because I went for my MBA to NYU Stern School of Business, which was ranked number 10 all over the world for full-time MBA at that point of time. So let's look at the contents of this course. This is a three-part course. In the first part, we are going to discuss why MBA, like does it make sense for you to do an MBA, and we are going to talk not about just your profile but also the macroeconomic and the geopolitical factors playing, which will help you decide if it makes sense to invest 2 years or 1 year of your time, energy and money into a course like MBA. The second part we will talk about is where should you do an MBA from, because obviously you have many options in India alone, but you have many more colleges outside India, and we see top B schools in countries like USA, UK, France, Spain and all. So should you consider doing an MBA from abroad, or should you do an MBA from India? And this is the advice that I have now updated based on the things that we are seeing in the post-pandemic world. And in the third part of the course, we are going to talk about if you decide to do an MBA, how can you build a strong profile for it? So with these three parts, if you go and introspect and do the exercises, I think will give you a lot of information, and you will be in the right frame of mind to decide the question whether MBA is for you or not. In the first part of the course, I want to talk about whether you should do an MBA or not. And we are not talking about the ROI of the course, the fee, whether you can get in or not. Those questions come on later. The first question is, does MBA even make sense for you? And surprisingly, a lot of people that I ask this question to do not have a clear idea. And if that is the case, then stop right here. There's no point in preparing for CAT or GMAT or looking at the schools when you don't even know why you want to do an MBA. Somebody is unhappy with their coding job, they don't want to code rest of their life, they want to move to business side of things. Somebody is studying a course which they absolutely don't like, maybe biochemistry or math course, and they think this is not for them, so let me do an MBA right after college and that will somehow magically solve this problem. The problem with all these people is that they are unhappy in their current careers or wherever they are in life. They don't want to be there, and they somehow think that MBA is the escape route, and doing an MBA will take them to this magical place which will not have problems anymore. And if this is you, then I have bad news, because this is not how it works, right? It has a bunch of subjects, there are a lot of projects you do, many team activities that you do. So no doubt MBA will help sharpen your soft skills, give you leadership and teamwork exposure, and make you a better person to succeed in the corporate career, but it cannot tell you what to do with your life, right? So it cannot tell you whether marketing is right for you, or you should go into banking or a career in strategy. That is something that you need to figure out first. So if your reason is that I don't know what to do in life and so let me do an MBA, that is not a good reason. Let's look at some other reasons why people do an MBA. For example, I had this client, and he was a data analyst, and now he wanted to get into the venture capitalist or finance industry on the investment side, and he wanted to do an MBA to make that switch. Now that's a good reason, because VC or finance is an industry which deeply respects MBA. It values MBA, and most of the people you see in higher positions in these companies usually have MBA in their backgrounds. So this person having a data background can switch into the VC industry with the help of an MBA. So that's a good reason for an MBA. Here's another example. This is a senior person who has been in corporate life for long, and he has been doing extremely well, but now to get promoted to that CEO level or executive level, he feels that he needs that MBA degree, and he can do executive MBA as well, because he's seeing that the company needs that kind of credentials on his resumes to justify his promotion. That is also a very good reason for doing an MBA, because you have a clear ask that if I get this degree, I will be able to get that next level of promotion. So that's again a very good reason for getting an MBA. If you know how exactly MBA is going to help you professionally, then MBA can be a fantastic course. So let me summarize what is an MBA good for. And in my opinion, there are 4 cases that justify doing an MBA. First is, if you want to break into an industry that highly regards MBA, and these are of course investment banking, management consulting, strategy, general management, those kind of industries, they really value an MBA. So if you want to get your career into these roles, then you will have to do an MBA at some point. Second case is, if you need MBA for getting promotion in your current company or industry. And as we saw in the previous example, to reach to certain levels, to certain executive levels, you do need to have an MBA or a partner track in a big VC firm. These are the positions that need you to have an MBA on your resume. So here you are doing MBA not as much for the knowledge, but for just having that stamp of a reputed school and having that degree on your resume. Third case is, you have been working in some role for a long time, but now you want to switch careers and it's becoming extremely hard for you to do that without any degree. So I see a lot of mid-30 something professionals in IT industry who are feeling like, they are not able to move beyond a point in their careers. They need to either upskill or switch into a more in-demand sector like data science or a role like product management. So such people can use MBA to get into product management. So if you want to switch careers and that switch is really hard to make without an MBA, then also MBA is a good option. And last one is somebody looking for just a holistic understanding of management and business principles. So MBA is a great course. It gives you a good foundation in general management, strategy, leadership, negotiation, how to lead a team, how to run operations, and all those things. So if you just want to strengthen your core understanding of business fundamentals, and it could be for someone who's coming from a business family and he has to run this family business, but he wants to upskill himself, then he can go for an MBA. Or somebody looking for maybe like, I want to start up at some point, but I'm not ready right now, and I feel that I need a more holistic understanding of business, they can also look for an MBA. But just a word of caution here, usually if you have an idea and if everything else is ready, then you do not need an MBA to do a startup, because MBA has huge opportunity cost, and let's say 40-50 lakh rupees that you're going to spend on an MBA, it's better to just simply start off your business with that. But if for some reason you're not able to start the business right now, overall in your entrepreneurship journey, it might help to have a better understanding of the business principles, especially if you're coming from a non-business degree and you think that your business understanding is very limited. To make it further simpler for you, here's an exercise that you can do. So I have a set of 3 questions that you should ask yourself before deciding on an MBA. Answer these questions and they will give you an idea whether MBA is right for you or not. So the first question is, what is the role and industry you want to get into post MBA? This is the first thing you should think about, because if you're not clear about your professional objectives, then you should absolutely not go and waste your time and money on a course like MBA. Also remember that MBA is usually the terminal degree. This is the last degree that you will take in your life. So you don't want to waste it at a point in your life where you're not clear what you want to get out of it. On the other hand, when you're crystal clear that this is how I'm going to use my degree for, then go for an MBA so that you can get most out of it. And this is also the reason why I ask people not to go for an MBA directly after college. It's better to do MBA after a few years of work experience, because then you know what is out there, what do you like doing, what is good for you, what is not good for you, so that you can make the maximum use of your MBA. The second question you should ask yourself is MBA the only and the best way to get there? Because if it's not, then the ROI of doing the whole MBA may not make sense. So for example, let's say you're a software engineer and you want to switch to product management. Now product management is not very far from software engineer, right? You can sometimes make that switch within your current company itself. So have that conversation with your employer or boss first. Maybe they will be happy to help you make that switch internally. And if that is the case, then you save lakhs of rupees and of course 2 years of your time. So isn't that better? Secondly, like let's say you want to start up. Do you really need an MBA to get to start your company? Isn't it better to go and work with a startup first, learn on the business, get some hands-on experience, and also save that money which could be crucial for you to start your venture? So ask these questions and make sure the ROI of doing an MBA is justified for you. And the third question is, would I be much better off in 5 to 10 years if I do this MBA? This is to make you think of the long-term returns of this course. Sometimes you might be able to achieve something by just doing a diploma or certification right now. For example, even for cases like product management or digital marketing, maybe you can just do a certification from upgrad instead of the full-fledged MBA. But you do think that in 5 to 10 years, having this MBA can help you get promoted and go up the corporate ladder in your industry faster. And if that is the case, then yes, going for an MBA makes sense for you. So do make sure that doing this MBA is going to set you up for success, not just right now, but in long term as well. And lastly, my thumb rule is, if you don't know what you want from your MBA or how you're going to spend those 2 years at business school exactly, then you should not be doing an MBA. So hope this helps. This was a quick primer on why you should or should not do an MBA. This was the first part of our mini course on MBA planning. In the next part, we are going to talk about where should you do your MBA from, India or abroad. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, and if you have any feedback or questions on today's content, then please do leave it in comments and I will respond to you. Thanks and see you in the next part.